Hello and welcome back to the Bookshelf Odyssey. My name is Art, and today I'm doing the Star Trek Voyager book tag. I am a bit late to the game in doing this. I was tagged about 2 months ago, and actually longer ago now. It was back at the end of August. J. Scott Phillips tagged me over there on his channel to do this. We had a discussion in the comments. He had done the Deep Space Nine tag as well as the Voyager tag, and was kind enough to tag me as in Voyager. And I still hope to do the Deep Space Nine tag as well, because that was and is still my favorite Star Trek series. But I also enjoyed the Star Trek Voyager show. Not quite as much, but I just love all things Star Trek. So I'm happy to do this tag. And thank you for tagging me. So let's take a look here at the Star Trek Voyager tag prompts and see what my questions are. Number 1, the USS Voyager is equipped with bio-neural gel packs that are often more trouble than they're worth. Do you suffer from any kind of allergies? Yes, I do. I suffer from a hard day's work. I'm allergic to that. But other than that, I do have some seasonal allergies I especially suffer with in the spring. And at times during the summer, and even in the fall, if it starts to get more warmer than it usually is in the fall time, those allergies flare up again. I also have a sensitivity to milk. I don't know if I'd go out and say I have lactose intolerance, but I've never been officially tested, but I know that it sometimes causes me some distress. I'll spare you the details. There are just some milk products that are worth suffering for, such as eggnog and ice cream. You just got to have it, and consequences be darned. Prompt 2, Captain Janeway is a terrific starship captain who sometimes doesn't know when to back off. Do you share this trait? Can you ever lose focus and need to be pulled away from something? That's a really interesting question. Sometimes I can get super hyper fixated on a topic or a subject, and I either lose track of the passage of time if I'm investing in it or doing it. Video games I'm terrible at in that sense, but Christmas is probably another subject I get kind of fixated on. I need to be pulled away at times. But yeah, I don't know if that's a strong character trait that I have. So, but yeah, interesting question. Number 3, First Officer Chakotay, who I think was criminally underused in throughout the series. I think he had such an interesting backstory and just wasn't ever explored fully or appropriately for his background. But anyway, all that aside, he returns to Starfleet from the terrorist Maquis. How readily would the friends of your youth recognize you today? Well, I think I'd be easily recognized, except I have a beard now, and I didn't when I was younger. I always joke when somebody asks me what I was like as a kid. I'll say, shorter, less hairier, I mean, just not really a lot has changed over the years. I've probably changed in my looks a little bit, but overall, I still feel like I'm pretty much the same guy I used to. In fact, I remember I told my wife once, because I just had this memory of one time I got a gift. I had a tape recorder as a gift or something, and I was really excited. So I started recording myself on this tape recorder, telling jokes and pretending I was an MC of a radio program, like old time radio, because I used to listen to that as a kid because my dad raised me right. And so what do I do now? Well, I record a podcast, which I'm basically talking into a tape recorder. I read. I read as a child. I read as an adult. I was very socially awkward and an introvert as a child. I'm still the same way as an adult. And yeah, I don't know if a lot's changed, and I'm kind of okay with that. Number 4, Lieutenant TUVOK. Lieutenant TUVOK's precise age is a source of speculation on Voyager. Do you feel like your chronological age, younger or older? I definitely feel younger than I actually am. And in fact, my children, who are now young adults and teenagers, they have to occasionally remind me that I am not young anymore, and I can't pack away a whole pizza or eat a carton of ice cream or, bend over quickly or bend over at all. Yeah, my body is not keeping up with how I feel mentally. But I've heard that that's not that unusual, that many people struggle with that throughout their life. So I guess I'm glad I'm not alone on that. Number 5, Chief Engineer B'ELANNA Torres, one of my favorite characters in Star Trek. She's half Klingon and half wimp. I'd push back against that. But anyway, does your own nature contain any radically different elements that you somehow keep aligned? Well, yes and no. As I mentioned, I can get hyper-fixated on something and make plans to do a lot of things around a certain topic or a certain subject. But then when it comes time to actually do it, I'm like, I don't really want to. So I don't know what that says about me, but that I kind of flip-flop. Now, do I keep them aligned? Not very well, because I just really love procrastinating. I mean, I would start a procrastinators club, but, I'll get around to it. Number 6, Tom Paris. Another favorite character of mine. I especially love the dynamic between him and B'Elanna and their relationship. It's really one of my favorite parts of Star Trek Voyager. Tom Paris is Voyager's dauntless pilot. What's the largest mechanical object you've ever piloted? That would be a moving van, I think. I don't know how many feet long it was, but it wasn't even that long. Maybe 10 foot, 15 foot-ish. Moving van. Yeah, nothing really too exciting. It's a U-Haul moving truck van thing. So yeah, maybe don't put me in charge of piloting the Voyager or an airplane or a boat or anything really. Just let me be a passenger. Thanks. Number 7 is Neelix, Voyager's cook and morale officer, who once said, "It's nice to be nice." Are you nice? Just in general. I try to be. I really do. Is it nice to say that you're nice? I don't know. But it is a thing I think we need to do more of. I'm very passionate about that, about treating people nicely, treating people humanely and with dignity, all that. Whether you agree with them or not, whether you share the same values or not, every person is worthy of respect and dignity and just be nice. And yeah, that's something I really passionately want to proclaim, that if anyone ever has an interaction with me, I hope that the least they can say about me is that, he was nice. He was a good guy. Number 8, 7 of 9, is a recovered Borg drone who finds a new family on Voyager. What are your thoughts on the concept of found family, and how close are your friends to family? I love that literature trope. I love the idea of found families. When you read it in a book, you get a group of people together that become so close they're family, even though they may not be blood related. Now, my own personal family, I'm close to maybe just a couple, but due to tragedy and trauma and things I don't talk about on this channel, I'm not really close with a lot of my family. And now I can convey that air of mystery. Who is he really? Well, someday when I'm a famous booktuber, I'll write a reveal all autobiography, I guess. I promise you. But yeah, nothing involving me. Just, it comes down to your family doesn't have to be related to you by blood. And I strongly hold to that idea. I have a few friends that I'm very close to. I don't have a lot of people I'm close to, but those few that I do, they are my family. They are my people, my group, whatever you want to call them. And I love that we're able to find people. Even there's a few whom I have never met that we've met online and built a friendship online. And I love that. I'm so grateful for that. Number 9, Ensign Harry Kim is perpetually awestruck and dumbfounded, except in the episode Timeless. How annoying are you? Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I am an 11. Okay. At least that's how I perceive myself. Is that, am I obnoxious? Am I the bad guy here of my own story? It's possible. I know I do things that annoy, my wife or my kids, and I know that. And what I wish they could understand is that those things that I do that annoy them annoy me too. Like, for instance, I can never remember where I place my keys. And for a while we had, some hooks hanging up by the door where you're just supposed to come in, hang up your keys when you come in. And so they're always there for other people to find them. I never used it. I never remembered to use it. I'd leave them laying everywhere. And so now that is gone, and we have another place where we're supposed to leave our keys, but I never remember to do that. In fact, the times where I can't find my keys and search the longest for them are those few times where I've actually put them away where they belong. It's just gotten to be such a habit of not putting them where they go that when they're there, it surprises me. Anyway, that's just a minor thing, I know, but I would say probably, honestly, I hopefully I'm not that annoying. At least I try not to be. There are things in my personality that annoy me that I'm working on and trying to do better at. But I think we could say that about all of us, I would expect. And then number 10, Amelia Earhart was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. Have you ever met a famous person? If not, have you ever come close? I guess that depends on how you describe famous. I haven't ever met a real celebrity or, somebody super famous. I think the closest I've gotten to this is I've had the opportunity to meet Gerald Dickens a few times, and I interviewed him for my Christmas podcast as well. He is the great-great-grandson of Charles Dickens. That's probably the closest I've come to meeting a celebrity. Although, personally, I would consider Gerald to be a celebrity. He's an actor. He performs one-man shows of a variety of different Dickens works, and just really great performer. But I'm trying to think. I really don't think I've met anyone. But I'm okay with that, because one thing I've learned from reading umpteen million biographies of Charles Dickens is that sometimes it might be good not to meet your heroes, They might not be who you expect them to be. But there are a few people I would love to meet in person and just sit down and talk with, get to know them, find out how they came about to create their works that I enjoy. One would be Patrick Stewart. I would love to sit down and chat with him and, briefly talk about Star Trek and just thank him for his performance and how he's grown that character over the decades. And his show, Picard especially, is just some of the greatest television I've ever had a chance to watch. I would love to express that to him. But also, I think we could just talk for hours on end about A Christmas Carol and about Charles Dickens. He did a one-man show of Christmas Carol, which you can get on Audible, and it's just fantastic. It's one of the earliest versions I came across as a teenager that helped me fall in love with the story. He's a powerful storyteller, a beautiful voice, and from what I can gather and what I know of him, he's just a lovely person. So I would be pretty selective, but he's one I would love to sit down and talk with, even just for 5 minutes, share a cup of tea with. I'd also love to meet David Tennant, but I'm afraid I would be too giddy and hyperventilating and possibly would just pass out if he even shook my hand. He might have a restraining order against me now that I think about it. Anyway, and I guess as we're talking celebrities I haven't met but want to, I'd add Taylor Swift on there. Speaking of restraining orders, I'd like to meet her. Anyway, that's the Star Trek Voyager tag. Real fun, a fun tag there. And if you have done these tags, let me know in the comments. I'll go check out those videos. I'm not going to tag anyone. I don't know if this is still a current book tag or not. But if you want to do this one, consider yourself tagged and let me know in the comments that you're going to add this to your list of videos to film, because I think these are some fun questions. So that's my tag today. I hope you are doing well and are reading great books. So until next time, Take care, and happy reading.